How come we can't reuse our clean prescription bottles? You can donate them to pet shelters. They need them for animal meds and will happily accept clean, empty bottles with no labels. You don't want chemicals mixing with other chemicals, I imagine. You'd have to make sure they were cleaned thoroughly, but you also don't want the plastic damaged, which could cause you to lose your meds. Why don't you reuse them yourself though? Turn them into air containers, mix salt and pepper to keep in the car, put little knickknacks in them like hair ties, thumbtacks, pins, needles. Plenty of ways to reuse them. Cross-contamination from other pills. Pretty much everything in healthcare is single-use. It's hard working and watching myself waste so much. Shift. I donate my empty pill bottles to the local animal shelter. It saves them from having to purchase containers for medication. New York state law allows reuse of the vial, but you have to get a new lid each time. We don't usually bother reusing them. In my region at least they're recyclable. You should advocate for the recycling program in your area to be expanded. You could also ask your doctor and pharmacist if they can dispense 3 months at a time instead of just 1 month to cut down on waste. Wait, I thought that was just a TV, movies thing. Do you really get your medicines in orange bottles? As you hear, our scripts are dispensed in the box with individual sleeves of tablets you pop out. I'm an old pharmacist and we used to do this for refills. You'd bring in your bottle and the pharmacist would refill it and put a new label on it. You may be able to find an independent pharmacy that still does it. Nowadays, most people expect to call in their refill and have it waiting for them when they come to pick it up. You definitely don't want your prescription in a bottle someone else used previously. Gross. Back when I was a basement waterproofer, I did a job at a guy's place who I later learned was the inventor of the orange pill bottle. Apparently he gets a cut every time someone gets a script filled. The house had a 1/4-mile heated driveway, because only poor people plow snow. There was a helipad, horses, a guardhouse bigger than my actual house that was staffed 24/7. The guards said the woods surrounding the compound had hundreds of cameras and sensors. There was a cleaning staff that fully deep cleaned every 2 weeks. This house was only used for Thanksgiving dinners. Blister packets are better. Less material needed. I find it strange that the US uses bottles so much. In the UK we mainly get vitamin supplements in bottles and prescription medication and blister packets for many things. My pharmacy used to do that a few years back. If you brought the empty bottle in for your refill. I used to own a pharmacy a while ago. There are reasons. The labor to remove labels, clean the jar, and many get beat up and won't be reusable. They seem durable, but they wouldn't stand up to this many times. There are lots of rules around the labels that get used. There are more eco-friendly vials that supposedly biodegrade. They used to be green colored, but I'm sure they come in all sorts of variations now. The saddest part of this post is you think any type of plastic really gets recycled. Almost all plastic sent to recycling facilities ends up in a landfill or worse. As long as we depend on gas and diesel, there will be abundant stocks of new plastic polymers that will always be cheaper than recycling. It's a waste product of the refining process. Should have some sort of bring back option? Good question. Woman raising one hand. 1. Health and safety concerns. Prescription bottles are typically made of plastic, which can degrade over time and with repeated use. This degradation can lead to the leaching of chemicals into the medication stored in the bottle, potentially contaminating it and affecting its potency or safety. Additionally, even with thorough cleaning, it's challenging to completely remove all traces of previous medications, which could potentially interact with new medications. 2. Regulatory considerations. Pharmaceutical packaging is subject to strict regulations and standards to ensure the safety, integrity, and efficacy of medications. Reusing prescription bottles could potentially compromise these standards and lead to legal and regulatory issues. 3. Labeling and identification. Prescription bottles often have labels with important information such as the name of the medication, dosage instructions, expiration date, and patient information. Reusing bottles could lead to confusion or mix-ups if labels are not thoroughly removed or if new labels are not applied accurately. 4. Privacy concerns. Prescription bottles may contain personal information about the patient, such as their name, address, and the medications they are taking. Reusing bottles without proper consideration for privacy could compromise patient confidentiality. Overall, while it may seem environmentally friendly to reuse prescription bottles, the potential risks to health, safety, regulatory compliance, and privacy outweigh the benefits. It's generally recommended to dispose of prescription bottles properly and consider alternative methods for reducing waste, such as recycling or using refillable pill organizers. If you ever need to ask, why does America do this weird thing? The answer is probably just money. A quick Google tells me all the infrastructure is the reason they use bottles in the US in the first place. They don't want to swap to blister packs because of the cost. So I'd imagine recycling the bottles will cost someone money, so they lobbied the government who passed a law to protect them. A friend looked into the collection, cleaning, and reusing of bottles as a business model, and the regulations are written to not make it viable, and the bottle manufacturer has no incentive to allow it. I never hear of this till recent. I always used few I have for small nuts and bolt in my garage, just like old film containers back in the day.